Yeah, so is Paul.
We're anonymous today.
Yeah.
Good evening. I will call to order the February 4th, 2025 Hutchinson City Council meeting. Please call roll.
Richardson.
Here.
Garza.
Here.
Bass.
Here.
Maggard.
Here.
Goss.
Here.
Pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance. We have no proclamations tonight. Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped the prayer. We have Lisa Dale from the 10th Avenue United Methodist Church here with us tonight to provide us with a prayer. At the microphone, please.
Would you please pray with me? Oh, loving and gracious God, thank you for this gathering of City Council members and residents of Hutchinson who meet each month, taking the time out of their busy schedules to create solutions for a better place to live in the city of Hutchinson. Lord, we just ask for your presence to be with each and every one of us, and especially the council members tonight, as they discern what solutions are in the best interest to the community of Hutchinson. Let each voice be heard and valued. And as this meeting dismisses this evening, let there be peace among everyone who walks through these doors to go home. We humbly ask all these things in your name, Lord, our great Redeemer. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. We have no proclamations. Moving on to petitions, remonstrances, and oral communications from the audience. Please limit your remarks to 5 minutes and to items not on the agenda. Audience members may address items on the agenda when the item is discussed by the City Council. Is there anybody here to speak in public forum? Please come to the podium and state your name and address.
My name is Rachel Terry, and I am here to speak on behalf of Stratica. Good evening, everyone. Well, I am extremely delighted to be here. I am the director of Stratica, and I'm actually here just to share some exciting updates and some requests. First, let me just express my gratitude for the incredible support we have received from the community over the past year. We have seen remarkable growth in 2024, including adding on 2 new exhibits and a new tour, whilst having significant increase in visitors and increasing our community engagement. Now, as we continue to expand and innovate, I am thrilled to announce that this summer we will also be launching our brand new virtual reality exhibit, which will offer a groundbreaking way to experience the history and wonders of our underground world. This edition will not only enhance our educational offerings, but also positions Stratica as a leader in museum technology. However, our journey doesn't end here. We are currently in the process of finalizing our application for Smithsonian affiliation, a prestigious recognition that would elevate the museum's status and bring even more opportunities to our community. Can you just imagine what that would do for tourism? Having 2 world-class Smithsonian affiliate museums here in Hutchinson, Kansas. But to strengthen our application, we kindly ask for your continued support and assistance. Specifically, we are seeking recommendation letters from community members and local leaders who believe in our mission and the value that we bring to the region. Moreover, as we look to the future, we need your ongoing support more than ever, whether through volunteering, attending our events, becoming a member, donating to our mission, or just spreading the word of our initiatives. Your involvement is crucial to our continued success. Thank you.
Can I ask you a couple questions?
Of course.
So you mentioned letters of support. How would
Yes.
you like us to get those to you?
If you could email those to me, my email address is Rachel, RACHEL, at underkansas.org.
And is there any other ways that we can provide support, like Facebook reviews or?
Yes.
Okay.
Facebook, TripAdvisor, memberships are also great. And we would love to also give any local leaders come out and take a tour. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And good luck.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else here to speak in public comment? Seeing none, we will move on to the consent agenda. There are 2 items on the consent agenda. Does council have any questions?
No.
Would anybody in the audience like to speak on this agenda item? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion.
I move to approve the consent agenda and authorize the mayor to sign. Second.
Richardson,
Yes.
Garza,
Yes.
Bass,
Yes.
Majors,
Yes.
Voss.
Yes. Item number 8, new business, proposed draft of commercial facade improvement program.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Matt Williams, Director of Community Development. I'm here today to introduce the draft of a proposed commercial facade improvement program. I'm not asking for you to take any action at this point, but City Council will be asked to consider this program as part of the 2026 funding or budget process. Today I just wanted to introduce the concept and submit the draft to you for further conversation. The goal of the program is to encourage local businesses to improve their building facades, thereby reducing blight and increasing the community's aesthetics. Similar facade improvement programs are available all around the country and the state. The program that we've drafted is kind of based off of Derby and Salina. The program is proposed as a matching grant with the city covering up to 50% of eligible improvement costs. Grants would be up to $10,000. We're proposing that to be eligible for the program, businesses be located on an arterial street south of and including 11th Avenue. We plan to seek $150,000 for the initial funding for this program. With that, like I said, we're just presenting this tonight as the beginning of a conversation, but I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have. One thing I do want to touch on is, as we've had discussions about different commercial properties in the city and blight removal, the atrium and other such properties, I think this would be a good way to show that the community that we care about the aesthetics of our community, and we're looking for ways to help as well.
How much do Derby and Salina set aside for their facade program?
I do not know the numbers for Salina, but Derby was also, I believe, 150 or 200,000 over 3 years.
Do you know how long they've done it?
There's been various programs. Hutch has had a similar program in the past. I believe Derby started in 2019, but I think these programs tend to kind of come and go at different times for cities.
Is there a approval process on what improvement is being made?
Yeah, the way the program I've proposed would be that businesses are interested in the grant would apply, staff would review those, and then end up taking those requests to the Planning Commission for the Planning Commission to review and give out the grants.
And is this based on what we have in the planning and zoning requirements for upkeep and maintenance, or is it for things up above
some of the criteria that I have in there would be they'd be looking at kind of picking projects based on addressing existing code violations, the current state of the building and the facade, the likelihood that the project would be complete, and then making sure that it aligns with city plans as well. So taking those into account when making the grant awards.
Is this the whole city, or is this certain areas?
So right now we're just proposing that this would apply to commercial properties along arterial streets on 11th Avenue and South in Hutchinson.
No, is this a program they'd have to pay it back once they got the grant? Or what?
This is a program that they would apply for the grant, when they, before they complete the improvements, they would basically get it approved by Planning Commission first, and then we would give them a grant up to $10,000 of the cost of the grant. So we would give that money over at once the project has been inspected and complete.
So it's
So yeah, it'd be a reimbursement of up to $10,000.
Okay.
Does council have any questions for Mr. Williams?
I read it over. I'm excited about it. I think
Good.
it's little steps like that
Yeah,
will make a difference.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree. I think there are a lot of successful programs that are very similar that we can look to and say that this works and it's definitely worth trying. And if it's not, it's something that we can always peel back or add additional measures into just to make sure that it has the results that we want. But I think it's a great program, and I applaud you for putting this all together and bringing this to us. Sometimes we talk about things we want to do and things we want to see, and as council, because we are volunteers, it can be hard to sit down and really like draft an actual policy. So when you give us something to respond to, it's really helpful that we can then look at this and critique it and see what we like and don't like about it. So thank you, and I hope this makes it into the budget in some form.
Great. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Matt.
Reports of city officials. Mr. Garza, you're up first.
Okay. Well, you know, I really don't have nothing to say today. That's kind of weird, isn't it? No, at this time I have nothing. Thank you.
Richardson?
I don't have anything to add right now.
Best?
Go Chiefs, and I would like to commend our fire and police with the very difficult situation. Over the last weekend, I've personally witnessed some of the how the staff has been working through that, and I appreciate and I need to know how we can help if we need to continue to help in that situation. On other staff notes, I've been in a couple meetings, and I really appreciate how staff, just like you said, Stacy, with this program, it's like you bring us something and it's like, it's spot on. It has to do with what we're talking about, with trying to clean up blight, you know, try to move along buildings that need to be moved along. So this is right in that wheelhouse, and thank you for the good job all of staff does. And I know it's not an easy job at times, especially dealing with the five of us. So thank you.
Yeah, so I'll jump on the staff bandwagon. Carissa Paxton came yesterday to Rotary to speak about our housing needs assessment, and really did a great job again, just creating awareness for our public and the needs of the future housing needs we have. So I just want to thank her for that. That's all I had.
Okay. I feel like I've spent a lot of time with, I don't think any of them are in here, with the folks from the chamber the past 2 days. So I need to see what this other meeting was called. So today I attended a meeting for mayors, and Mr. Fast was there. This was about Make My Move, which is a countywide initiative to provide incentives to get people to move to Reno County, Hutchinson, anywhere. And we had a lunch, and then we had a meeting, and one of the things we did was we kind of shared what we love about our town, and just the things that people talked about was amazing. I think we have a lot to brag about in Hutch and in Reno County, and it was really nice to hear that other people feel the same way. We also had the Economic Development Conference this morning. I'm not sure I've processed everything that they said, because there's always a ton of information at those things. But really, we are at a point where we're making up for and trying to build the houses that we didn't build 15 years ago. And I think that was my biggest takeaway. We're just behind the 8 ball on so much infrastructure and housing that it's really, as the study showed us, it's at a critical point. So anything we can do to move the needle on housing and improving our infrastructure is going to go a long ways just to bring us back up to where we should be and hopefully kind of future-proof the city in the future. I think that's it. I feel like I'm forgetting something. We have a light agenda tonight because we are having a meeting with the county immediately after this. Not that we don't have things to talk about as a city, but we have a whole other second meeting to do. And with that, I will have Mr. Villegas speak.
I'll have Alec come up first. This was a request from the council to receive an update on the snow maintenance out at the airport.
Mayor, Council, good evening. Alex Stang, Airport Director. I was kind of asked to give a little bit of an update on snow removal efforts, but I also kind of wanted to take an evening. I've been here for a year, or a moment this evening. I've been here for about a year now, and I thought it'd be a good chance to kind of give you guys a bit of a state of the airport report, if you guys are all right with that. All right. I'm pleased to share that the airport has had a successful year of growth. Flight operations are up 11% over previous year, and I'm being told that those are the best numbers in the past decade. Starting at the south end of the airport, our resident jack of all trades, Mr. Bill Garrison, doubled his S-2 water bomber fleet and got his T-33 Shooting Star operational again. Salt City Aviation Flight Club has expanded, adding another aircraft to their fleet, and has raised their membership to 20. And with the help of 4 local flight instructors, 10 private pilot certificates and 2 commercial certificates were achieved this past year. Wells Aircraft saw significant sales growth through their FBO line service, chartering, and aircraft sales. They also continued to be the only Platinum Cirrus authorized service center in Kansas. At the terminal, the airport steakhouse continues to impress both residents and visiting aviators with fine dining experience. Our unsung heroes up in the control tower maintain a stellar record of safety and professional operations. Their presence not only ensures air traffic safety, but also attract a significant number of aviation training flights to the airport. And finally, our newest business on the airport is Hummingbird Aviation. They have begun the groundwork to develop aircraft sales and services, specializing in Piper Malibu aircraft. As much as I'd love to take credit for this past year's success, the reality is that our airport administration is still in a phase of regrowth. Established as a department just last year, we are young, with only 3 years of institutional knowledge. There's a saying in airport management, if you've been to one airport, you've been to one airport. Every facility is unique, and with each new challenge, we face steep learning curve, and sometimes with the grace of a tumbling boulder. But the best way to learn is by doing. And through experience, we've gained insight into what we've done well and where we can improve. To promote continued growth and sustainability at the airport, we'll focus on addressing our shortcomings through better practices, acquiring and replacing proper equipment, and developing our workforce. The past year has been a learning experience. In the year ahead, we are raising the stakes and pushing for progress. Key projects to watch out for this year. We're working with city contractors, city and contract engineering to open up 45 acres for economic development. We have 2 FAA airfield pavement projects breaking ground in late spring, a parking lot reconstruction project scheduled for this summer, and the annual Hutchinson Regional Airport fly-in and open house will be returning May 3rd. I appreciate your guys' time, and if you have any specific questions, I'm more than willing to answer them.
Alec, could you address the snow?
Okay, so with snow operations, we had 2 major snow events within a week of themselves. The first snow event had significant ice layered with snow. As far as how we report field conditions, especially when it pertains to snow, well, we utilize a form and a document package from the FAA, and that's called a FICON report. This FICON report has assessment criteria that we have to specifically follow, and it ranges from a 0 to a 6, a 6 being the best, a 0 being we've closed down the runway. We did have a period of time where the runways were closed, and specifically because of dry snow or wet snow over ice is a condition 0. We had that condition probably for about 3 out of the 5 days that week. And then Thursday, we had significantly more snow than what we were projected to have. The struggles with an airport, especially when it comes to snow, is our snow drifting. We get some areas where you might have, a 1/4 inch, and then other areas where you've had 8 to 10 inches drift up, and that takes considerable effort to clear. As far as operations go, we've kind of realized that we're lacking some equipment in that range. We did borrow some equipment, but it wasn't quite adequate for our needs, and we'll be addressing that this year.
Do you know comparable nearby airports, Newton, Salina, were they also closed the same number of days?
I know for certain Newton was. I was in contact with their operations manager over there, and he was asking similar questions. Wichita did close for a period of time during the initial ice. They have considerably more equipment to handle the snow than we had on Thursday. By Thursday evening, we were able to open up 1331 for public use again. But yes, Newton probably one of our nearest partners or neighbors. They were closed for several days as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, no
Does
problem.
anybody else have any questions?
No.
I think that's what I like to hear is, did you do the best you could with the equipment that you were given and with the time and notice and everything? Weather is always fickle in Kansas, and I think that we had 1 day of school that entire week also. So thank you for presenting, and congrats on your 1 year. Looking forward to whatever happens next at the airport. There's so many possibilities that you guys could do out there, and we're always here to listen. So bring us your craziest ideas, and we'll see what we can make happen.
Alrighty. Well, I appreciate it.
One question.
Yes, sir.
Is there any chemical you can use to do the ice removal? I know you can't put down salt. Can you do brine or not?
As far as chemical treatment at airports, typically the products that are used, they're trapped and contained, and then they are either recycled or disposed of. As far as something that we could utilize at our airport, I'm not familiar with anything that we could just naturally have run off into our stormwater system. That's kind of the biggest barrier there. We don't have a way to either recover the product or trap and remove the product.
All right, thanks.
No problem.
I'll turn it over to Aaron.
Okay, can everybody hear me? Great. Just going to introduce myself. I'm Erin Patterson. I'm a project manager with the Utilities Department, and I wanted to take a little bit of time to give you guys an update on the Master Water Planning Project. This was originally raised with you guys at the end of last year, and we've advanced it since then. We're not coming for an approval tonight. We're just giving you guys an update on where we stand, so we will be ready when we go for approval. Okay, and as we talk about water, we're just talking about the freshwater and the sanitary waste systems for the city of Hutchinson, so nothing around stormwater. So just a little bit of an agenda for this update. I want to talk again what the purpose is of this master water plan that we're looking to do, where we think the funding's coming from, what the scope of this master water plan is, and the schedule, and then just a status and the next steps for where we're at. Okay, so I know this has been raised with you guys last year, but just wanted to bring up again what our objective is we're trying to do here, and that's to develop an overall comprehensive water plan for the city of Hutchinson for our water utilities. And we want to make sure that this focus is on system improvement and also on growth. Lots of talk tonight in the utilities department. Where are we going in the future, right? We want to make sure that this plan incorporates that future. This document that we develop over the next year will act as the guiding document for our water utility systems, and it gives us an action plan, something tangible for us to do now and in the future. Goals. So we always want to make sure we know what we're getting. We're going to set that roadmap for the water utilities, and that's going to be, like I said, short term. What do we need to do in the next year to make sure our systems are robust? And what do we need to do in the long term for that planning that accommodates, you know, the system reliability, robustness of the systems? We know that there's lots of changes that are happening in our environment, in our regulatory agencies. We want to make sure our systems can withstand those. And then also we need to understand, you know, our goal is going to be what are our technical and also our financial strategies to support both our community and industrial growth, right? Residential, commercial, industrial partners. How do we support that? And please just stop me as I'm going through this on the slides. If you've got questions, I don't mind. Funding. So, the way that the city is looking to fund this master water planning work is that there were some projects that have been rolled in to this overall master water plan, and then some that have also been delayed. So there was a planned 2025 facilities review that was included in our approved CIP for this year. That's going to be rolled into this master water plan. For 2025, we had accounted for relining of water tower number 4. That project's delayed to allow for these funds to go to this plan. And then, while not yet in the CIP or approved, there was going to be a 2026 facilities review as well. And so that work, while there's no funding coming from it, it's work that would get pulled into the same master water plan. Scope and schedule. So this is high level just for tonight. So we're going to be looking at, like I said, all of our freshwater and our wastewater systems. We're going to look at the existing supply for both of those, treatment, distribution, and disposal. So we're looking at what we've got. And then we're going to be looking at all of the future permitting requirements. We know that, in 4 years, we're going to have to re-up our NPDES permit for the wastewater treatment. There might be some changing landscape with the effluent. We want to look at our current and also our future capacity of these utility systems. CIP planning, both short-term and long-term. So we're looking at CIP for just the first year. but then also it stretches all the way through to 25 years and 50 years from now. And that's when we might get into some of those discussions of, do we keep what we have now? Do we have to look at a long-term replacement of them? Emergency preparedness for both of the utility systems in their totality. Water reuse, this is a big one, and I think it's going to be getting a lot more attention in the state of Kansas from what we've been told. How do we make sure we're being smart with our water, reusing it where we can, rather than it just getting returned back to the environment? And then we always got to make sure we're looking at the money. So there's a rate study included for this, and then also what the financial impacts are of the works that might come out of it. And then also, what are our funding options that are going to be available, either through grants or loans for our area. Right now, the work scheduled is to start in March and will run through December. And then status and next steps, so where we stand. So at the end of December, we went out with our request for proposal to the engineering companies. It's a publicly bid project. So we ended up receiving 4 bids. They are currently in the evaluation phase. The 4 bidders were HDR, CDM, Burns and McDonnell, and Friesen Nichols. Right now, the pricing that's come in ranges from $1 million to $1.6 million. Although just note, those prices are without any sort of scope finalization or clarifications. So it's just as they bid it. Between the 4 bidders, we have completions that have come in at either the end of this year all the way through to February of 2026. So a couple of months from one of the bidders past where we wanted it to be. We are meeting with all 4 of the bidders over the next 2 weeks to go through their proposals, complete some interviews with their project team, make sure that they actually understand what we're trying to get out of this work and that their team is a good fit with our team. And then we will be making a final recommendation by the 28th to the city manager. And then after discussions on that, we would present it to council. And that's it. Questions? Comments? You look like you have a question.
I don't have a question on that.
When we get done with this water project, are we gonna have all the water, the old lines replaced, or we still have some more to do?
We'll have a lot more to do.
A lot more?
Yeah.
Okay.
Part of the scoping, and Aaron can chime in as well. It wasn't baked into the scope of this, but we are going to be asking for help on phasing for when and how many water lines to replace, in addition to everything else. So I am a little concerned is probably the right word, that our water rates really didn't take into account a lot of the other issues that we have. So we're going to be taking a comprehensive look at all of that. Obviously, we don't want our water rates or our rates to get too high, so there is a balance there of how much we can do on an annualized basis. But just the more we discover, the more issues of, okay, how do we take this into account? So nothing. It's everything that can be solved. So I'm not worried about that, but it's just mostly on the balance of how do we adjust our rates and our capacity and stuff like that.
Thank you. Okay, no other questions? Thank you for your time.
With that, I think Kevin has something real quick for you all as well.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Kevin Irwin, your 911 Director. In your packet, you should have gotten an annual report. I just wanted to stop by real quick because the first one we kind of put through was a pretty comprehensive report. I'd like to recognize and thank Chief Beer for his mentoring. HFD does this every year, and we were like, oh, this is the way to get our story out, get our information out to you, so you all see what we do. You're going to find on these pages, we really emphasized in the last year our staffing, still fully staffed, and it's all focused on taking care of our staff. all of the programs that we're developing in there is about mentoring and about giving them feedback and the new programs that we have. Not only have we provided it, the staff has latched onto it and they've really embraced it. And I just wanted to make sure that you guys were aware of the report, stand for any questions that you might have. But we're pretty proud of what they have done because they have really answered the call.
Staff turnovers at a place where you can
We can
be
manage
comfortable
it.
with?
Yeah, there's
Good.
always going to be a little attrition. We'll lose a couple, but yeah, we're still full staff by
Great.
budget. We're still full staff.
Great.
6, almost 7 months in. So, but, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else?
That's all.
All right. At this time, I motion to recess into executive session pursuant to the personnel matters of non-elected personnel exception in order to discuss city manager matters. The open meeting to resume in city council chambers at, say, 10?
Yeah.
6:16. 6:16. Do I have a second?
Second.
Richardson,
Yes.
Darlington,
Yes.
Meg,
Yes.
Dodd,
Yes.
Yes.
Richardson.
Yes.
Garza.
Yes.
Fast.
Yes.
Meggers.
Yes.
Goss.
Yes.